So today's our second day at the Shaolin Temple. It was a day filled with a lot of really rare opportunities, and it was definitely, for me, the best day of the trip so far. We woke up a little bit earlier this morning. We got up at 6 because we had to be here at the temple at 7 because we had the really unique opportunity to meet with the head abbot of Shaolin today.
This abbot is the 30th abbot at the Shaolin Temple. And Adam and I got to go in and sit down and ask him some questions. I got the opportunity to ask the abbot about something that is very important to me, which is meditation. So I asked him a little bit about advice about meditation, and he talked about the importance of keeping your mind empty and not thinking of desires and not thinking about attaining things. Then I asked him how long he meditated every day, and it turns out that he meditates for 6 or 7 hours every day. So that was pretty incredible.
Still don't understand how anybody could sit still for that long because I have problems sitting still for these interviews every day. After we met with the abbot, Christy and I were fortunate enough to work with 2 of the top-ranking monks here at Shaolin that the abbot personally had sent over for us to work with. And they are the coaches for all the Kung Fu monks here at Shaolin. Monk Yen Ao and Monk Yen Zhuang were kind enough to let Christy and I sort of show them a little bit of what we know. I was really nervous actually to show them just because, I mean, they're the top ranking monks at Shaolin, so it's, I guess, kind of proper that I would be a little bit nervous. They were really encouraging and really nice. I got good feedback, which made me feel really good.
中国的传统文化弘扬到西方去。
We got to see them perform too, which was also amazing because their really traditional Shaolin forms that they did were like incredibly powerful. I mean, I was standing right next to them, and I was afraid that I was gonna like fall over or something. I mean, I know it's kind of like weird to say, but like the power that they had when like they'd stomp their feet or like move, it was like it was incredible. Like you could literally, and I don't really throw terms around like this very often, but you could feel their power and their energy standing like 5 feet from them. It was very inspiring.
You could just see the chi coming off of them, so it was really great. And they taught us a little bit of a basic Shaolin form, and it was really exciting.
第一式白云盖顶，上步推掌，抱手出身，上步推掌。
After we finished with the top 2 disciples, we got a chance to go to the Pagoda Forest, which is where I am right now. It's quite beautiful. And while we were here, we met with the Songshan Shaolin Wushu warrior team.
So Christy and I, again, we stood by and watched as these amazing teenagers with incredible skill performed some traditional Shaolin hand form. Straight sword. Broadsword.
And we had the opportunity to learn 2 forms from them.
And the first one we did was just an empty hand form. We Got to practice maybe like 5 or 6 moves that he showed us, which was really, really fun. And then after that, we got to learn a small portion of the beginning of a straight sword form.
The sword form was a little bit more difficult, and also it was interesting to try to learn a form trying to look over my left shoulder and try to see what was going on.
And the straight sword form that he showed us was really, really cool. It was very evident that it was a Shaolin straight sword form. It was very back and forth and really snappy, whereas the ones that I've learned before are more Wudong influenced, very circular, again with like the Taoist yin and yang theory incorporated.
It was really fun. I felt very honored that they took out some time to sit and train with us and share with us their knowledge. The Pagoda Forest is actually a cemetery, and it's for abbots, eminent monks, and ranking monks. It's very old, and it spans about 6 dynasties, and it's still active today. And there's about 250 Chan pagodas here. And what they do is, when somebody dies that's meant to be here, they cremate them, they put their ashes in the ground, and a pagoda is built. Now, every monk that's here has disciples, and the disciples pull their money together and have a pagoda erected for them. And each pagoda is between 3 and 23 feet tall and made out of stone and brick. And they're either 1, 3, 5, or 7 levels. The higher up it is, the more it's said that that person has achieved in their lifetime.
There was a monk who actually passed this March. And so the newest pagoda, we got to see it. There's still yellow and black banners that say that he had just passed and what his name was and all the information. A really unique opportunity came about today, and I was actually the only one to get to experience it because no girls allowed. I got to go to where the monks' living quarters are, into like their meditation room, and watch them actually get ready for their daily meditation. It's amazing how much time and method and ritual goes into everything that they did in there. I found out today was actually a holiday for them, so they were only going to meditate 6 hours. Normally, they meditate for 15 hours a day. Yeah. But what I was told was not every monk gets to do that. They have to go through a written test. What's tested is how much knowledge they have of Buddhism, and then also they have to go through a Kung Fu test. So every monk that I saw in the meditation room was highly skilled in Kung Fu and also highly intelligent in regards to Buddhist theory. So when I walked into the meditation room, there was a big 8-sided table in the middle with a seated statue of Da Mo in the middle. Right when we got in there, the monks hit this stick on the ground, and then they all started walking clockwise in a circle around the statue, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. And then we were told that this is how they make sure all their food is digested, that they had just come from lunch. Before they sit down for 6 hours, they're gonna walk around, make sure that their food is completely digested. As far as like the rituals go, they had specific ways that they pick up their teacups and set it down super quiet. I was warned that I wasn't allowed to talk in there because I would get beaten with a stick if I made any noise. So not just me, but no one is allowed to talk in that room. So then after that, they all had a seat, nobody's talking, so it's completely silent. And then one monk grabs the teacups and he passes a teacup around to everybody that's sitting down. And then another monk came by and poured tea for everybody. And then they sort of just took a second. It looked like they were just taking time to clear their thoughts and finish their tea. And then they set their cup on the ground. Again, you can't even hear the cup set down, it's so quiet. The same monk who passed out the teacups comes in and picks up the teacups. Then everybody goes through the ritual of wrapping their robe around their knees and adjusting their pillows. And then they sit there and they start meditating. And that was when we stepped out because, well, there's not much going on for 6 hours in that room besides people sitting around and meditating. They used to have a sign on the meditation room that said, do not enter, basically because no one besides the monks who meditate in there were allowed in. But, you know, they made an exception to the rule for me and good old President Putin from Russia, who was here about a week ago. A really interesting fact about all the rituals that they do, as far as how they wrap their robes around their knees when they sit and how they pour the tea, is that those rituals have been passed on for 800 years. So how they do it today, how I saw them do it today, is exactly how they did it 800 years ago. And that in itself says something about the monks' desire to just preserve this legacy and like how much they revere Buddhism and tradition. After we watched the monk and his students perform, and he called me aside to talk to him, and he basically asked me to come and train here at the Shaolin Temple with him. He thought I was really, really good. And he thought that, or he said if I wanted to take my Kung Fu to the next level, that I would come, that I should come here and let him train me. And honestly, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
And it was another beautiful day, and I really enjoyed walking through the Pagoda Forest. I actually like cemeteries a lot. I find them very serene and interesting, and I always am fascinated by the oldest tombstones that you can find in a cemetery.
And tomorrow, I get to perform with them. I get to actually be in the Shaolin Temple performance at the Shaolin Temple Theater that all the tourists get to see. I get to go be a part of that. I'm pretty excited. I'm heck of excited, actually. I am so excited, it's not even funny.